How fun is it to have a game like this coming up?
Yeah, this is awesome. I mean, I wish that we could be ranked too, just so it could be a ranked matchup. But I mean, playing a top 10 team on your home court, that's awesome. So I mean, it's a huge opportunity for us.
Isaiah, what's been the key in this? You got this 20-game home winning streak at stake. What's been important or key in that streak for you guys?
I think obviously finishing games has been huge. I'm not sure how many of those games have been overtime games, but usually we finish those games out really well. Obviously, 20-game winning streak, that's big time no matter what common denominator it is, whether it be on the road or at home. That's a big streak. So just having that ability to, defend home court, that's something we focus on a lot. And that Coach Miles is, he preaches a lot. You don't want to lose on your own home court. So that's those are just big things that go into that.
After the Iowa loss, Tim talked a little bit about how stressed out and frustrated you guys were after the Penn State win and the Indiana win. Do you guys feel like you're playing a little freer, a little bit more carefree?
For sure, yeah. I like even during the Iowa game, you could tell, like we're not even on the court. We're not talking. Our bench guys aren't talking. We're kind of just waiting for. It kind of looked like we were waiting for something bad to happen almost, and we kind of like fell down on ourselves instead of going out there and just playing the game we know how to play and playing to the ability that we all know we can. And I think that showed in the Indiana game.
Isaiah, so you and the guys and the rest of the stars have been asked to kind of step up and play a lot of minutes, given that there have been some injuries and stuff on the bench. So when you have just a few days in between each game, does that start to take its physical toll on you, or is it's not maybe not a non-factor or something? I don't know.
At least I can't speak for the rest of my teammates, but personally I feel pretty good right now. I know a game is really tough, but so is the coaches do a good job of making our practices tougher than the games. That's something that I think they want to do. So, if we're not playing games, we're going to be practicing for, 2 hours or whatever anyway. So our bodies are getting adjusted to it, and I think they did a good job at conditioning our bodies for this midseason push.
Going back to what you said about this home winning streak, the last 2 years you guys lost just one game at home. What were those conversations like in the off season between you guys, obviously coming back for your sophomore year, that said, we don't want to lose at home anymore?
Yeah, I mean, we always talk about that Kansas game last year being, it was a tough loss, and that's our only loss that we had last year. And, we always talk about how special PBA is, and that extra boost we get from the crowd and just the environment as a whole. And it seems like teams have really a hard time shooting at PBA, and I don't know what that is either. But it's just like you said, it's a special place to play at, and we're definitely grateful. That's our home court.
You should say it's pretty big. What's the key to rebounding and kind of keeping them off the glass?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like with a team like that where they're 4 and 5 are both really big, could both be 5 men technically. We're gonna look for a lot of help from our guards. I know last game. That was one of my big focuses going up against Juwan Morgan. I think I only had maybe 1 or 2 rebounds going into late second half, and I look up and I think James had 8, Glenn's got 6, or Thomas had 6, or something like that. So that's huge, and that's something that we're gonna need those guys to do again this game.
How does that help you specifically whenever your guards can rebound?
It helps a lot because I know that I can focus more on rebounding in my certain area instead of having to try to make a extra effort to go rebound out of my area. I know that my guard's going to be there cleaning up for me. I can just focus on keeping my man away from the ball instead of having to focus on rebounding all around and then looking down the court and seeing them trying to leak out or something like that. So it definitely is it helps a lot.
As a player, just having a top 10 team coming in, I mean, how fun is these few days, I guess, leading up to a game like this, especially coming off of it?
Yeah, it's huge. And I mean, coming off a big win on the road against a ranked team, that's a huge confidence builder. And I think it. I mean, I couldn't. I mean, to be honest, that was like the perfect game. I feel like we played not perfect. I mean, perfect in the sense of how it played out. Like we were in control the whole game. They made a push, and I remember last game. I just kept on saying every timeout, I'm like, we've been here before. Like we can't blow this lead. Like we blew it against Minnesota. I think we were up 14 on Minnesota, and then they came back and beat us. So I kept on saying that we've been here before. We got to keep on pushing, and then to win the game by 15 on the road, that was huge. So going into Michigan State, I couldn't ask for a better game to lead into it.
Isaiah, your fan base is really excited for this game, partly because of what happened on Monday, and then the fact that Michigan State is Michigan State and they're having successes here. What do you expect it to be like at 7 o'clock tomorrow at home?
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I know Creighton earlier in the year was, I'd probably say that's my favorite game that I played at PBA, but I mean I could see this one being challenging for that. So I know the fans are gonna come out and be crazy like always, and I mean I can't wait to get out there. It's gonna be a good night.
Isaiah, you talked about your rebounding, but you're the only Big Ten player in the top 10 in blocks and steals. How much pride do you take in that part of the game?
Yeah, for sure. That's huge for me, just because I take a lot of pride in that, just because me as a player, I like to be all around type of player, so I like to affect the game as many ways as I can. So some nights I might score more, some nights I might rebound more, and like you said, defense is one of the things I'm really good at, being able to use my length against different positions that I'm guarding. So just to be in that category, that's awesome. I didn't know that actually, but that's pretty cool.
You mentioned that at Indiana you were saying, we've been here before. How much does it help that not only have you been there before, but that core group of 4 or 5, you've all been in the same situation for like 2 years? Like, how does that help?
Yeah, I think it helps just because I know, like, it's like you try not to talk about it, you try not to think about it, but the home crowd, it definitely is a factor wherever you're at. And I know, like, they went on their run. I think they cut it down to 3. And Assembly Hall, it's an awesome place to play, and their fans are up and clapping. And I'm not sure what we did after they got it down to 3. I think we scored somehow. I think we got Tanner. I think Tanner scored a layup, and it kind of like was a crowd silencer. And at Minnesota, we never really had that silencer play. We kind of traded buckets back and forth with them. So being able to get that crowd silencer, and then I think we got to stop after that, was huge. And I think that's just a testament to not only our coaching staff helping us, putting us in the right positions, but us just being there before and being composed about it.
The last matchup with Michigan State, obviously one you don't want to think too much about, but how much does that motivate you guys now, being in a different place right now as a team than you were then?
Yeah, they were a different team last year. We were a different team last year. I think that you got to learn from that type of stuff, because ultimately their style of play is the same, but our style of play is different than I would say last year, and just our everybody's role is different. So I think it's just going to be an exciting game to play, and I think we play them again later in the year. So it's going to be the first of 2 games, and we'll see how this one goes, I guess.
You guys for that?
Sweet.